Yo, what's up, everybody? How's it going?
Hey.
So she didn't want me to start it this way, but I just told her she has a resting bitch face.
I say it to myself about myself all the time.
Because we were getting ready, and she said no. And I said, put a smile on your face. But no, this right here is about, a person that holds somebody accountable and challenge that person loves them far more than the person that just tells them it's okay and lets them stay the same. And I know a lot of you are going to disagree or say, "Ooh, no. My husband's supportive, even though I'm going through a hard time right now. And he just supports me." And that's great. We should always support each other and love each other. And that's great too.
100%.
And it's not like somebody's going through a hard time for that day. Like that's a different story. Now, when we see our spouse go through a hard time for months, year, whatever it may be, and they're struggling, and we just stand by and tell them, "It's okay. You're doing okay, honey. You'll eventually get through this." It won't change. And that's the thing, is you got to support them through it, but you also got to challenge them to be better at those things as well, because nothing changes unless something changes. If you're just saying it's going to be okay, then how is it going to be okay? Because if it's been months, nothing's changed and nothing is going to change. Change is very scary, but there's nothing more scary than being 5 years down the road and in the exact same spot. Most of our friends out there are our age, 40, 41. And a lot of us have been at that spot where we've been 5 years down the road and in the same spot. We say, "Oh no, New Year's resolution. Next year when things get better, we're going to get after it and we're going to do this." Time ticks away. New things happen. COVID happens. Something happens in our kids' life. They get embedded into sports. "Oh, we can't change. We can't do this." And then we get stuck. And that's scary, because everybody knows, if when you're our age, life is flying by at this
Oh my goodness.
point in time. But what I wanted to talk about was, unfortunately, I had made Diane cry a while back on her journey. And it wasn't like in a mean spot, because as you think you guys can tell, we get along fantastically, but we had to grow our relationship to here. And I've always been this entrepreneur person. And what happened was, she was evolving into this person. She was crushing her fitness, her nutrition, her life was changing, but she got to this crossroad where she had to keep pushing when it got hard. Not necessarily on the fitness side, she had mastered that, but on the business professional side. And I told her, I said, "Babe, all of your dreams, everything you've ever wanted, but 10 times more are waiting for you. But you can go get those, but they're never going to happen if you just kind of stop where you're at right now and go back to the normal life you were living at a normal job, and just go do what you did for 19
I was just
years."
going to say, that's what I did for 19 years. I had the same job for 19 years. I loved my coworkers. I enjoyed my job, but it was the same thing every day. I went home, did the same stuff. I just felt like I was always stuck in the same position, not bettering anything in my life.
And it was crazy, because we always had a good relationship, like we said, but she needed to be challenged to get out of it. I had hobbies. If anybody knew me, they were like, "Oh, Tommy rides bikes. He does fitness. He's really into his faith. He's doing all these things." And I'm not saying I'm cool. I took a while to grow those things. But if you said something about Diane, what was something that Diane's is passionate about?
Nobody knew.
She's a good mom, and she's a good spouse. And she's a good C role player employee, working barely above minimum wage for 19 years. And she had no hobbies on the weekends. Yeah, maybe we'd go hiking or something. But she, like, literally, if I said, "Babe, if you could do anything in life," she'd tell you, "She, I have no idea. If you want to go do something today on the weekend, what do you want to do?" "I have no idea."
Yeah.
Because she hadn't unleashed that. She fell into a rut of life. But literally, this person that I'm living with now, like, how's your life now? Like, give them a little bit of by holding your partner accountable. Was I a jerk because I said that and you had to start crying to realize that you had to face fears?
No, it's what I needed, 100%. Now I get to look out every day. This beautiful mountains, the blue sky, the sunshine today. It's supposed to be 70 next week. When it's summertime, we get to go to the pool all the time. We get to do all these fun things because we had to unleash and let go and move on and do something different.
And by doing that different, she found new talents she didn't know she had. You think she'd be leading men and women all over the world? Like, literally, it's not even the US that we're leading people anymore. It's the world. You think she'd be doing that, person? No. Like, when she started in this journey, she never posted on social media ever. And now she's posting multiple times a day. But I still remember the story. There was a friend in her circle that Diane had talked to when she first was getting into this field. And the person, like, basically was extremely rude to her. And she was crying on that and was like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
Lovingly, I had to tell her, you can do this, you will do this, and you can't stay where you're at. And she pushed through.
Sometimes you need that breakdown in order to carry on and move forward.
It's sad because I've put out stuff like this before, and there's people who were like, no, it's a spouse is more loving when they just tell you it's okay, even though it might be a lot of weight gain, depression, substance abuse, all of that. Your spouse doesn't love you that much if they're letting you abuse any of those things and not become a better version of yourself and stop that. Like I said, if it's one day a week, that's one thing. But when it turns into 6 months, a year, that spouse doesn't love you like the person who's going to hold you accountable and lovingly tell you something has to change. I know you're not happy right now. I know you're not okay drinking every night. I know you're not okay. You've put on 60, 70 pounds this year, and I know you don't feel amazing, not even healthy, but even just confident in self-love wise.
Yeah.
That's love. When somebody tells you that and says, what are we going to do about that? What are we going to do? But the spouse that just says, no, I'm just going to let you just work through this. I'm just going to let you work through this. How is that helping the solution? How is that helping your marriage? How's that helping your parenting skills? How's that helping set you guys up financially for the future? It's not. It's not at all. That person just lets them be and doesn't sternly tell them. Because all that stuff, let's use it for a kid's example, right? If you have a teenager and you find out your teenager's getting D's and F's, maybe they're drinking, maybe, they're not playing sports anymore and they're not doing things like that. If you go to them and you're like, hey, I know you're drinking, you're getting D's and F's. What's going on, yo? You're a sophomore, you're getting D's and F's. You need to get better grades. I'm just going through a hard time right now. My friends are kind of being, we're kind of bickering a little bit and this, that, and the other. Are you going to say, oh, that's okay, cool, keep drinking.
We'll just work through it,
Yeah, you'll get through it. You'll get through it eventually. Just turn your grades around if you can. I'll support you. No, you're going to be like, dude, you're getting D's and F's. Turn that around now.
Get your butt in gear.
Like, get it. Let's go.
Now.
No, like, that's great. You're bickering with your friends. That sucks. You'll make new friends. Get your grades up. Stop drinking. You're a teenager. So why is that wrong as an adult? We're adults. We should be big boys and big girls. When somebody comes at you and tells you, hey, we need to change this, we should listen and change that. If we're going to do that for our kids, we need to do that for ourselves. If we're going to do that for our kids, we need to do it for our spouses. If we're going to do that for our kids, we need to do it for our friends. Like, that's a true friend for me. One of the biggest things that I've ever had in my journey was a person who, believe me, I could share you his picture, and he's the last person you want to meet in the dark alley, had to literally yell at me like I had slept with his wife. No joke.
Yeah.
Yelling at me was one of the greatest days of my life. Because ever since that day, I was full of gratitude since then. And that's the thing he told me. He said, bro, you are not full of gratitude. He said it in a different tone. He said, you're not full of gratitude and you need to get your shit together. And that's what we did. I did after that. And I'm not saying like I'm cool. I had to. There was no other choice. He was right.
Yeah.
If your spouse is telling you, babe, you can't stay like this any longer. I know what it's doing to you. That person's right. And they love you because they're telling you that. The love isn't just masking the truth. That's false marriage. That's
no, they're
fake.
telling you that because they do love you and they do care about you and they do want to see those positive changes.
They don't want to rock the boat. The people, the person who doesn't tell you that, who says it's okay, just doesn't want to rock the boat.
Yeah.
And that's okay if not starting a fight, but that's not okay for thriving. You don't want to thrive. I was at a men's retreat this summer and we all buried one thing. Mine was different than the next businessman that was there. But my brother went to this event and he buried one. He says, I'm done not rocking the boat in every area of my life. And since he said that, his relationship has gone through the roof. He said, I was never the person who would tell my spouse anything because I didn't want to rock the boat. Didn't want to do that. But you got to. Because that rocking of the boat gets things to change.
Mm-hmm.
And if that person won't change because of that, and you continually love them doing it, well, something drastic needs to happen.
Yeah.
So you got to hold each other accountable. That's love. You got to challenge each other. That's love. Tell them it's okay. And don't do anything about it other than say, it's okay. That's not love. That's not love at all. We got to support each other, but we got to challenge each other to be better.
Yes.
Because especially in this day and age, there's so many people who are settling for mediocrity. Diane didn't know she was doing it. I didn't know I was doing it for a long time. And countless amounts of people around us who now we're working with didn't know they were doing it. I could literally show you a picture on my phone right now that one of our clients posted to social media today, and it is mind-blowing, their transformation physically. They have lost an insane amount of weight in 4 months. But the cool thing was this week, she texted us and said, I quit drinking recently as well. Now my husband's quit drinking. And then now we're getting along better. And now our kid is reacting to us better.
Seeing positive things and happens.
Stayed the same, told it was okay. What do you think happens? No, marriage still a little bit rocky. Kid now resenting their parents. Challenge each other, but lovingly. Do not yell at them. Call them names. That's not love. Love is sternly telling them that. With love and passion in your voice, but not yelling. And they know your heart's coming from your heart. So I'm going to end this today, but we challenge you to be better in all areas of your life and keep growing. You don't have to lose 100 pounds in 1 week. You don't have to move from one state to another in 1 week. You don't have to do whatever major things in 1 week. One brick at a time. You make an amazing Lego creation by one brick at a time. You can't put 2 bricks in at a time. One brick at a time will eventually turn into a masterpiece. And that will be your relationship, and that will be you, and that will be the world around you. So, much love.